Welcome to the first video in this series of video blogs that we bring you from the National Media Center, where the results of the 2014 general elections are coming in. It's going on 10 o'clock at night, and we will decided to give you in this first installment an overview of what we witnessed today and some of the polling stations and some of the areas that we visited. Uh, we split up into two teams. Some of us traveled to Nasinu and we ended up in Rewa at Lomanikoro, the village of the Sudapa leader Rotemu Mukepa, while the rest of the team stayed here at the National Media Center to see how things were progressing and to receive the first results. Rosanna?
Yeah, so I was here with two other members of our team, Kelvin and Priya, and we were here all day. We've been here since 9 o'clock this morning, really just waiting for the media blackout to be lifted, which was lifted at 6 p.m. today. Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Salim gave us a press conference at 6 p.m. and told us that the media blackout was lifted, which means that the media is allowed to report on elections and on different parties and candidates. The results just began coming in. We got the first wave at 6 o'clock, and then we didn't receive anything until around 9 o'clock, which is when they started coming in at a bit more of a steady pace. They are being counted just across the road, and they say that it takes approximately 4 hours for around 500 ballots to be tabulated. So we've got over 500,000 people that were registered in Fiji, with over a 77% turnout of voters. So it's going to be kind of a long night for the tabulators and for the media as well.
Right, yes, I think there were 500,000, about 500,000 people who registered to vote today,
yes.
And another 65,000 or so voted in pre-poll balloting.
Yeah, and that was an issue that was brought up today with the Supervisor of Elections, just the fact that a lot of people that did register for postal voting didn't receive their ballots. So that's something that we're waiting for the Elections Office to kind of give us a response on. There are a few other complaints as well, but other than that, I feel like the mechanics of the elections seem to run pretty smoothly today. The Elections Office seems to be pretty pleased with the results. These guys were out on the field and kind of saw firsthand how the public and how the voters were reacting to it. So you guys can kind of take the lead on that.
Yeah, well, I guess what we can tell you is that from what we've seen and heard is that almost everyone turned up in great numbers this morning, and then it turned out around midday, and I mean everyone I guess wanted to use this public holiday and just get the voting done and over with.
Yes, that's right. So the polling stations that we attended, the presiding officers reported that a great bulk of people turned up in the morning up until midday, and then it started thinning out, and then there was a surge expected towards the end of the day, but we're not sure at the moment whether that happened, whether people started turning up in numbers towards 6 o'clock, or whether most people who were going to vote had voted already by mid-afternoon.
Yeah, here at the National Gym, the election supervisor, Sanim, did say that they were expecting quite a large group of people to turn up in the afternoon section of the day, but they said that they didn't. They said that the majority of people went in the morning. That was very obvious. As we were driving here to the gym, we had people lined up at different polling stations from I think around 6 o'clock this morning. Some people said as early as 5 they were lining up to vote. So I think that they didn't really get the droves that they expected in the afternoon.
Yeah, and Mash saw Bainimarama cast his ballot.
I was part of a team of media waiting, I don't know, 3 hours for Bainimarama this morning in just up the road from the media center, and yeah, he came and he cast his vote. I think around 11 or 12 today.
What was his mood like?
Well, he was extraordinarily happy today, I found. Really, engaging with the press and being rather cheerful, which is not something that he always is.
And then we traveled down to Rewa and Lomanikoro as the village, Rotemu Mukepa's village, Sudapa leader. She had just left for Suva, but the atmosphere in the village was... People were quite excited. There were groups of people in the village hall and in in some residences, drinking kava and enjoying the time. After the close of polling at 6 o'clock, we were at a house where they were drinking kava and they had a prayer session and then they sang a song to mark the moment. And then, yeah, they were upbeat, but they were still, they were cautiously optimistic.
I was going to say, I feel like there was a huge feeling of excitement with everybody that was here and everybody that was voting. And there was a sense of reverence as well, seeing as this is the first time in 8 years that a country that has been predominantly run by the military has been given the opportunity to vote in a democratic elections. And there was also a sense of hope mixed with a bit of uncertainty, I think.
Yeah.
Would be the way I would kind of describe the feeling today. Everybody is just very restless and just kind of wants the tabulations to be over so we can kind of know what's going on.
Yeah.
So far they've declared 16 provisional results, 50 provisional polling stations, and the way they announcing the results is just by candidate names and the number of votes they got. So we'll have to compile that into parties and see how it goes. So far, unofficially, it seems like Fiji First is leading in the votes that have been declared, followed very closely by Rote Mumukapa. But then, if you add up all the party votes,
that's where they're going to clean up as well, because a lot of the different, a lot of the votes for Fiji First are all very condensed to 279 or Bainimarama, and then we've got a lot of votes that are scattered amongst the rest of the parties and candidates. So it's going to be interesting once we tabulate all the votes that are scattered up against the bulk condensed votes of Fiji First. And yeah, I think that's all we have for you guys.
That's all we have for you until
right
the
now.
next update. We'll also let you know when our live stream will be up, and that'll be when results start firming up, and we'll be able to bring you a live stream so that you get an idea of the atmosphere here at the media center at Laudala. So until the next update, thank you for watching and stay tuned.